Thank you. Representative Thompson.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to kind of revisit what you opened up in terms of our officers, because I find in my interactions with, there is different issues, and most recently it was just keen to my attention. I crossed paths with a wife of a colonel who recently ended his service. I mean, this was a gentleman who he actually has good training, but he also was like a city responsible for city planning in Fallujah. Now, unfortunately, all of his great work's been undone, not his fault. But you look at his history of leading training programs and what he's done is just outstanding, and yet he doesn't get calls back. And this is probably not the best, but right away I kind of thought of the movie White Christmas. What do you do with a general when he's finished being a general? The song that was in there, and I don't know about generals, but in terms of colonels and captains and majors, and so my question is, how do you all are doing great things, but how do your companies do in terms of recognizing the management gems of former officers in your companies? And is it a matter of, do you think, when human resource folks look at these applications, are they intimidated? To tell somebody you're not going to hire them because they're overqualified, well, that's just stupid. In my opinion, if you can hire up, you want to do that. But I guess I hear that excuse given sometimes, and it is. I have a good friend of mine that works with workforce development with the Private Industry Council of Central Corridors, and she's actually reached out and working with this colonel. Because is it a matter of packaging, as you referred to, in terms of making sure that that the application those individuals, men and women, officers send in, is just better packaged to capture what they have to offer in a way that's not intimidating, that obviously translate to the private sector. I know that's a whole lot to unwrap, but if we can just start and go down, that'd be great.
Sure, sir. I think the challenge is, when you're thinking about officers, you're really thinking about executives. And there's fewer jobs for executives, even in fast-growing industries. I think for us it translates very clearly, and I have colleagues who also run large solar businesses who are military veterans and presidents and CEOs. Translates into captains, majors, colonels. It's like managers, directors, vice presidents. You see that executive experience. I think the challenge for the officer is to realize that their geographic mobility will be more important. And I think that's true of executives in general, and we see that across other sectors in the economy. So my advice, potentially to this colonel, is think about this like your every 2-year move. You're going to be making another 2-year move.
Yeah, be prepared for deployment.
That's right, sir.
Where the mission is.
Sir, did you mention that your son was at 11 Bravo?
He started out 11 Bravo.
Started out 11 Bravo.
After kind of an unfortunate incident in Iraq with IED and some med boarding, which took forever.
I understand.
35 Foxtrot.
Sir, probably something that would help everybody understand is that it's not just the junior military officers that have that struggle. It's the senior non-commissioned officers that are infantrymen and field artillerymen. Like myself, I'm an 11 Bravo. I joined the Army out of high school because I wanted to jump out of planes and blow stuff up. Mm-hmm. Now, I had a lot of opportunities to go to. My mother begged me to try a year of school. I'm like, no, I want to jump out of planes and blow stuff up. I was quite good at it. But what somebody found out is I had the ability to speak eloquently in front of the colonel and use a computer, and I found myself on staff time and time again. I'm like, look, I want to jump out of planes and blow stuff up. Please, somebody let me do this. No, you're more valuable here doing this. And so, okay, yes, sir, I'll do that. But that does not translate onto my resume.
Right.
I don't have a certificate or training that says all the things that I've done. I have to try and that's very challenging, because what they see is that MOS of 11 Bravo. And like I mentioned in my testimony, so many hire managers think, well, I've got a grunt here who's probably suffering from post-traumatic stress and has a bad back, and he's going to be spending all of his time at VA appointments. What am I going to do with this guy? And so that's what I'm trying to overcome from those service members as well as the junior military officers. It's a combined effort for those two groups for me, and it's doing the same thing, sir.
We had an important comment. There are two companies, RLG International and one called Check 6. exclusively made up by military officers. Check 6 is almost all ex-naval aviators. Both companies have been inside my company, inside all of the oil companies, providing leadership training and optimization of our businesses. These companies are now working globally, and from the Gulf Coast to the North Slope to everywhere that the majors are working. They played a vital role in my company progressing to the next step of efficiency and organization. So there is a very good place for them in our industry, and those two companies are almost exclusively made up of military officers.
Good. Thank you, Chairman.